So, Steve, it's that whole consistency thing again. This time we're talking about losing 2-0 to Whitstable, and just a very flat, average performance again.
Yes, it's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to speak, so we missed the opportunity to reflect on our 2 3-1 wins. And yeah, we're back here, back here after a loss. I've had 24 hours, 36 hours to sort of digest it. You go through the whole sort of roulette of emotions from, and now to come back to a little bit of perspective. I think Whitstable are a side who are better than their league position. I think they came to us with a good game plan. They've got an experienced management team. I think it's a very even game, 0-0 at half time. If anything, it was an even game. There wasn't a lot in it, and it kind of looked like if anyone was going to score, it was going to be a lapse in concentration. And yeah, unfortunately, we've had the penalty go against us. But the second goal from us is poor. Like there's 2 or 3 defensive errors in there, which is frustrating. I feel like I've always thought if I got 2-0 down, I'd just go for it rather than see us peter out. So we've made 4 subs, we've changed the formation. Felt like we rallied a little bit, caused them a few issues, but yeah, a couple of half chances, not able to get back in the game. So wasted opportunity.
Yeah, it's a bit of a frustrating one because we play virtually the same way as games, not identical, but similar sort of level to how we play against Pagan. Pagan we win 3-1, Whitstable we lose 2-0, where it's a game you're thinking, there's no way we're going to concede here. Might not agree, we might not be going to be scored, but we're not going to lose. Suddenly they've got 2 goals. And you're just left scratching your head, really.
I mean, yeah, maybe. For me, massive difference between Pagan and Whitstable was the way they defended. I think Whitstable, real low risk, kept 4 players, basically 4 centre-halves as a back line. Goalkeeper, they didn't try and play out short once in 95 minutes. So it was very much put the ball up the other end and let us have the problem. Whereas Pagan were a little bit kamikaze. If anything, they were prepared to play a high line, they were prepared to leave 2v2s at the back, and obviously we were able to exploit that. I guess if you're going to come up against someone like Whitstable who's going to play like that, and fair play to them, I can't really blame them. Not with the way the conditions are up at the den at the moment. But what you can't do is go behind, because you're basically then trying to break down a brick wall, and they defended really well. Like in fairness, we weren't fantastic in terms of our creativity and movement, but I'll challenge anyone to be fantastic out there.
Yeah, because look, when we started, it was still a strong team because you had to tweak a bit of the lineup, didn't you?
Yeah, a couple of unavailabilities. Marlaka, it was his birthday, so he'd already booked something, and Josh Woodliff was unavailable as well. So that was kind of the catalyst for the changes, because probably wouldn't, under normal circumstances, have looked to change the side that had won back-to-back, scored 6 goals in the process. But yeah, that's football, that's why the squad's there. You look at the bench, you look at the boys that were coming on, they're all very good players, so I don't think that has really been a contributing factor. It's just...
Not at all, because you look at that bench and all of them could start.
Absolutely.
Which reflects the overall strength of the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. There is great depth on the bench, particularly when you think, aside from the 2 we've just mentioned, Sigi is probably 10 to 14 days away from being back. So the squad is strong. I guess if anything, I could probably do with a few more that play so well. I can't drop them. And maybe at the minute it's all a bit, you could almost sort of say you could pick 10 variations of the team based on the players I've got available.
I think it's right, because the first half was very even, and all it was lack of any impact up front in terms of in the final third, because there's not a single player where you pick out and say, oh, he had a bad game, but it wasn't one player, well, he's had a really good game either.
Yeah.
It was just something in the middle there.
Agreed. No one's work rate was questioned, which it never really is with our lot, to be honest. We found it hard to get in behind them. They held quite a deep line, so They weren't giving us the opportunity to get in behind, or put it this way, they're making us work very hard for it. They defended between their goalposts really resolutely. I think first half, Festos had a shot which he's put about a foot wide, but even that, I think that's come second phase from a corner. Other than that, clutching a little bit, a lot of long throws, a lot of crosses, but when they've got bodies defending their goal like that, it's hard. Like sometimes you've got to say well done, and that's probably one of those occasions.
Yeah, because I mean, at half time, and again into the second half till they scored, you're looking at that and you're thinking this has got 0-0 written all over it, you know.
Yeah, I actually said to the boys at half time, I think it's got 1-0 written all over it, and it's for us to make sure we're not the ones who make the mistake. As it was, the penalty, I'm not sure. Maybe the officials have made the mistake there. I'm not totally sure, but that gave them that little advantage, and the real killer for us was the second goal. Second goal is poor, like real poor defensive. Harry's lost his header initially. Jim's got taken into a channel and not really done enough, in my opinion, to prevent the cross coming in. Heinze and Shieldsy, they've got 2v1 up against their left winger, who was the smallest of their attackers, and he still managed to get a header away. He's headed it down, which is what he should do, but on the pudding that is our 18-yard box, it kind of trickled across the goal line, and I'm not sure Bence will be overly happy with that either. So as a whole defensive display, Kaz was nowhere to be seen. His position was terrible. So yeah, as a defensive unit, it was not something that is going to make the end of season highlight reel, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's unlike their first goal, which was a debatable penalty, with half the people saying, oh, it was a clear pen, and everybody else saying, no way, it was a pen. We don't know, really.
I think whatever way you look at it, yeah, Dean Grant's won the penalty, and he's been clever. His movement was good. He's got himself in front of Harry, and then he's got himself across him, which as a defender is a really hard thing to deal with. And he's also put in, regardless of us opening the door, he's still put in a fantastic cross for the second goal. And I think Dean Grant and Harvey Smith, who played on the right wing, were both probably the two best players on the pitch, and caused us problems all day.
Their winger in particular really had a good day.
Yeah, he did, and they were targeting Harry, which is unusual because Harry's very good in the air, and their keeper was just able to consistently put it where it needed to go. So yeah, sometimes you just got to say well done.
Yeah, but I was quite impressed with you made a clear statement. You went for it with your subs.
Yeah, well, I've always thought, as I said, if and when we get to a situation where we're two behind, we'll just roll the dice, and made 4 subs at the same time, changed the formation. I did think it gave us a little bit more impetus, but I suppose Whitstable will probably argue, well, we're 2 up now, we're just going to sit in and see what we can do. I think Heinze had a shot on the turn, which just went wide. I think we probably had more territory in that last 15 minutes. There's probably more hopeful balls going in, but
yeah. But it wasn't just, you had the likes of Ryan came on wing back and was getting balls in. Reece came on up front and had a bit of an impact. There was quite a few players there who came off the bench who, as you say, because of the squad, you'll be thinking, well, they've made a statement that they can play next weekend against Holden Blair.
I think they've all come on and done, help carry themselves, putting a good account of themselves. I would personally say that I feel Whitstable probably just sat off and allowed us a little bit more territory and just defended their 18-yard box, defended between the goalposts. So, do you know what? If we were unable to break them down, and when you're 2-0 down, you don't get any bonus points for looking pretty, do you? You've got to find a cutting edge. We couldn't draw them out. Couldn't really get too many shots on their goal. I think Heinze's one on the turn, was unlucky. I think Festos in the first half, they're probably our best 2 chances, and the keeper hasn't had to touch it on either one. So that sort of says it all. Yeah, well, it's frustrating.
In that case, it's a case you started looking forward to what's going to happen next. And it's Holland and Blair, and that's going to be a completely different game. Yeah. But again, it's a big 6-point game at last. Well, not last, but I don't know where we are now.
Yeah, I mean, look, be a completely different surface. Obviously, we're going to their place, playing on the 3G. Clint's just gone in there as manager, good guy. I think they'll probably have quite a young, mobile side. They'll probably try and be. I think it'll be a big contrast from how Whitstable play. So it'll be a test for us. Ironically, probably suit us a little bit more, which is something I've got to address because our own pitch should be an advantage really. So yeah, you know, like it is very tight. It's very tight all the way across the league. But what we don't want to do is get into a situation where we're looking down more than looking up.
Yeah, well, fingers crossed. We bounce back. Given our form is up, down, up, down. This is the up game, isn't it? So.
Well, it's just this same thing happened to us last October, November, when we had a little run of form. It was when Billy Lewins got injured, I remember, and I think we went about 4, maybe 5 league games without a win, and we sort of dropped down to the point we're looking a bit nervously at the trapdoor. But in amongst that, I think again we won 2 or 3 cup games. And it's the same thing here, like, you're looking at our league form, and I think off the top of my head, we're going back to Lyd, aren't we? It was the last time we picked up a point. But we've had 2 good 3-1 wins in the Kent Trophy and the Vase, so it just, at the end of the day, we need points on the table, because that's what everyone's going to judge.
Well, fingers crossed this is another 3-point win.
Exactly that, mate. Exactly
All right,
that. Cheers, Will.